Ho, ho, ho. Hey, how you doing? Tony Wasinski, official editor of the podcast, Redline Radio. Here he is, getting ready for the work Christmas party. Frankie Bergasetti.
Hey, how you doing?
I'm doing well. Are you excited? What are you wearing? It seems like, is it a vest year? Is it something a little bit more festive?
I'm wearing my Miller Lite sweater.
Mm-hmm. Show the people that you're proud.
Yeah, I love the Miller Lite sweater. You could go to shop.millerlite.com to get one yourself.
It's an all-time gift for those who you love, maybe a friendly neighbor, maybe a producer behind a switchboard, maybe for your nephew David. Tons of merchandise, tons of stuff, all aligned with the great Miller Lite brand. It's a brand that we love, we trust, we know everybody out there loves.
Great for last-minute shoppers. If you don't know what to get, make sure you go to shop.millerlite.com and get your Miller Lite lover some great merch.
Yeah, absolutely. Celebrate responsibly. Miller Brewing Company, Milwaukee, Wisconsin, 96 calories, 3.2 carbs per 12 ounces.
Miller Lite, great taste, 96 calories. Give the gift of Miller time this holiday season by going to millerlite.com/redline to find the delivery options near you, or pick up some Miller Lite pretty much anywhere that they sell beer. 'Tis Miller time.
Thanks for remembering to say that. I sometimes often forget. That's a very good time.
Of course,
yeah.
but of course, always celebrate responsibly. Miller Brewing Company, Milwaukee, Wisconsin, 96 calories and 3.2 carbs per 12 ounces.
Hey, how you doing? Good morning, good evening. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, Chicago sports fans. This is Barstool Carl.
And White Sox Dave.
Chief.
Eddie, did you trip up?
Yeah, I did.
Wow.
That's the first time in 296 episodes I think I've ever fucked up that line or
How
something.
many episodes have we
I
had
was going
now?
to say that. Do we have like a realistic
We used to have
ballpark?
a count.
It's over 280. Or it was
It's,
275.
Call it about 50 a year, 4 or 5 years. But we've done 2 for select seasons. So it's probably about 275. That sounds about right to me. To 300 or so.
It was definitely 100 in January of 2019 when we first went on, I feel.
Yeah, we had 80 done before we got to Barstool.
Okay.
Okay.
So
It's a lot.
yeah, I mean a lot. And it's good to reminisce.
I feel like you track that for dog walk pretty closely. What are you on for dog walk?
Over 700.
Okay.
Third most.
Behind KFC Radio?
Yep, they're 2.
Part of my take.
Yeah.
I mean,
They're 3 times a week since 2016.
Yeah.
have you talked to anybody at Cooperstown?
You know what?
They come in and ask for the
They
mic.
called. They asked.
What do you mean, Cooper? What are we talking about Cooperstown?
Hall of Fame. Dave asking for a day for his 700th
They
microphone.
took my little Behringer thing that I used
Dave's
to
like
carry
a
in
Hall
my
of Fame
backpack.
vote that I wasn't involved in? What the fuck?
Hey, what about? Did you see the guy hauling ass for Tom Brady's 700 touchdown this past weekend?
No, I did
No.
not.
Maybe I got the meme wrong, but I thought he threw a 700 touchdown pass. Right?
That was 2 weekends ago, I
Okay.
believe.
Yeah.
He
There
got
was a
like
clip.
2
There was a
season
guy
tickets.
whose
No, it was
job
his-
was to collect the ball, whoever it was. Right?
It was his 700s.
Okay.
Yeah.
But it was this weekend?
It was 2 weekends ago, I believe.
No, you're thinking of that ball was he broke the record. This was
Yeah,
700.
he broke the record,
Okay.
and they
It was
fucked
the
up the
walk-off.
negotiation. So that had set the tone. Where it was like,
Yeah.
So now the Buccaneers had like employees stationed in the end zone where it was like, yo, you get that fucking ball. That ball's not leaving. So when the guy catches a pass, 700, he throws it on the ground, and you just see some 20-year-old kid just sprint right into the middle of the pile,
See,
pick
I,
it up and run out.
That ball's worth more than to that 20-year-old kid than whatever it is the Buccaneers are going to
That internship?
Yeah, then that internship, you could sell that ball for $1 million, I bet. A lot of money, hundreds of thousands.
At least half a mil.
I'd say at least $500,000,
Probably.
right?
So what do you got? Off the top of here, I thought there was something.
I don't know. Did everybody watch Rough and Rowdy?
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Thoughts? Any biggest takeaway?
My biggest takeaway is that it was exactly how I thought it was going to. They're going to punch each other out or punch themselves out and then be jello punching the rest of the fight. But
I
think
would
we
say
can-
it was jello punches from the opening bell.
Yeah,
I
don't
would say
think
that
there
the
was-
title fight was stolen by Big Bad Booty Daddy. Big
Yeah.
Bad Booty Daddy might have had the all-time. The knockout was vicious. The post-fight interview was.
Big Bad Booty Daddy raised the whole experience, the whole pay-per-view up like 1.5 points.
Yeah.
Like he was that like, whoa.
When he looked in the crowd and he said, "Shut the fuck up, you ugly motherfucker."
Yeah, I was like, whoa.
Yeah, that kid. Yeah,
Yeah.
I was wondering if he was going to say something to get all of us canceled, like all of us as in Barstool, and he didn't. He was teetering that
Correct.
line. But
Cancel,
can we
that's
all
him.
agree that the chick fight was the best fight?
Always.
I mean,
It
it
always
was last
is.
time.
Just an awesome fight.
They're trying to bring him back, right? Because
Well,
there's
Hot Wheels,
controversy.
yeah.
Hot Wheels said there's big controversy
Hot
about West
Wheels
Virginia.
deserve better. Hot Wheels deserve better. I thought she carried that fight. She tried to rope a dope, which you can't do rope a dope in a 3-round fight, but I thought she won the last 2 rounds.
Do you see Cherry Bomb's husband's on the West Virginia Fight Commission?
No.
Allegedly.
Well, I think that could be a little fun thing for you guys to chop up for the next Rough and Rowdy if they do get the thing. Because she was saying we should go fight in Tennessee or Kentucky or some shit.
That's what Hot Wheels claims. But
I did not see that.
That would make for very
That
peculiar.
seems like a conflict of interest. If
I would
know
say
any
so.
better.
I couldn't believe Rico. I was stunned.
Oh, that was an amazing. The entrance, the
Stunned.
Undertaker. Now, were you stunned because
No, the attack behind the scenes.
what got you? What were you so surprised about it?
That he even came within the same room as him, dude.
What do you think of people saying it was fake?
They don't know.
They
Like,
don't
I
know.
understand it looked very fake. Because even, like, while he was creeping up, he was like a fucking, like a mysterious figure, just like, silhouetting in the back, like creepily coming up. And I was like, I had to rub my eyes and be like, oh, is that really Rico?
What just happened?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then people are like, dude, come on, man. Like, I like you, but like, that was the fakest shit ever. I was like, no, it wasn't. It was not fake.
No.
No.
If
he
there's
would-
one thing you can really plant your flag in the ground, it's like, no, that Rico stuff is real.
Dude, yeah, there's been plenty of
He's a
times
crazy
where, like,
person.
everyone has that same situation with Rico where you're like, hey, dude, like, like, I know you do that for whatever, but hey, let's do this with him. It'd be good content. And then you get that quick realization, like, whoa, he's serious.
Yeah.
Dude,
And
the
he's
first
very
time I
serious about
ever like hung out with Rico off camera for extended amount of times was in Detroit for the Super Bowl thing last year, the bet that we did at Greektown.
Mm-hmm.
And he was talking about his kill list. It was like Arya Stark. Like he couldn't have a conversation unless he muttered the words like Jeff Nadeau. Who was the other
Third
guy?
string quarterback.
Not well, he was like last, but it was Black Fletcher,
Oh,
is
yeah.
it? Blackjack. And then
The 200 hitter.
the 200 hitter, yeah. And I was like, oh, why do you care? He's like, I want him gone. I want him dead. I was like, what? Like, so if to anybody who thinks that was fake, it was not fake. He is a fucking lunatic. A lunatic.
It would have been a good. It would have been good chaos if he like pushed Nadeau. Nadeau slipped, dislocated his elbow. They had to cancel the fight, and like, how would Dave Portnoy react to like the title canceled?
Is there anyone there that could have stepped in? I wonder if Marty would have stepped in. No, well, Nadeau would have got hurt, so that doesn't make sense.
Yeah, like who would want to? No
You'd
one
have
would
to
want to
have
fight
somebody,
Jerry either.
Right, you'd have to have somebody from the Nadeau crew.
I knew he was doomed when he came out alone and he didn't have that Canseco lookalike was in his corner. Like, he didn't have anyone with him. So I was like, what? Like,
Yeah.
I was very thrown off by that. But
Know
it
what
is
I
it is.
disliked is that they like hugged it out afterwards. I was like, fuck that. I hate sportsmanship, Ed.
But I mean, if that's how you feel, like,
Yeah.
what are you gonna do? Create fake beef if they?
Well, that tells me there never really was beef because it's not like anybody got the better of the other person during the fight.
Yeah, but dude, when you go to battle with someone like that, like, I don't know, I think that's hard to. That's hard to
Hard to
pinpoint.
separate.
Yeah, like hard to
Yeah.
separate because, dude, you fucking put your ass and you train
Yeah.
for months. Like, you don't know how you're gonna feel. Like, if you're really like, hey man, I put a lot into this. I know you did too.
Yeah.
Like, let's just fucking.
Did they though?
Well, they're the only two who know that experience and stuff. So it's like
Yeah.
this weird shared experience that probably brings you together, even though, you guys want to. And the other
Yeah.
thing is, it's so important if you are a fighter to put on a good show. And so, like, even if you lose, I feel like the most important thing is just putting on, like, a great fight,
Yeah.
and that has to bring some respect to the opposition.
It was always about respect. But it's like that was like the other thing where it like that I wish it was on camera. I don't know if it was on stool scenes or something, but when we were in New York for Cyber Monday,
Yeah.
like that, like the cameras weren't rolling for the stream yet, and they like had to be separated. Like they like genuinely like there was genuine beef there, Dave. Like
And call him a junkie.
yeah, like and then they went
Yeah,
after like
it's-
mentioned his family. Like it was like
fucked up.
yeah. So it was definitely real. The hug it out part I can kind of understand, but I don't think if it was Rico versus Nadeau, there would be a hug.
So there's one in for the Super Bowl.
Yes.
That's the next one.
Yes.
Could there not? I think the Arizona Bowl, that'd be too much.
Probably.
Right?
At the Arizona Bowl? Yeah, I think,
it sounds like some of the stuff you guys are doing, like the trivia contest, bar crawl.
It'd be sick, but I think they're kind of done with the traveling now because it's just better in West Virginia. You know what you get.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah,
So.
that's true.
And they view it more as a pay-per-view event than
live.
Yeah, live. Even though, like, I mean, dude, if we had it here, what do you think realistically? I thought about this the other day. Realistically, what's like the venue like we could sell out?
Allstate?
I don't think
not Allstate.
I think the UIC
Yeah,
Pavilion.
UIC. That's what I was
I
talking
think
about.
that would
What I
sell
said.
out?
Yeah, I think so.
That holds like 7,000, 8,000. I think we could easily
I think
sell
we
that
could
out.
sell out the Allstate.
I think we'd probably get a better
the
crowd
UIC Pavilion.
at Wintrust than they did for the Alexander Usyk fight.
You think so?
Yeah. There were probably 7,000 there.
Do they sell booze there? I've never been there
Yeah.
yet.
By the way, that arena's, if you haven't go, it's
It's
Awesome.
awesome. I'm sure it's awesome. Yeah.
awesome.
The ball might be worth going to see
Honestly,
this year,
it's
too.
like, and they put on a great show at those games. Concourse is nice, bathrooms, beer lines are a little long, but that was during COVID. But that's beside the point. Either one of those, UIC'd be crazy because you'd pull,
Everybody just coming up from the
and
south
that's
side.
that's way easier to get to from the suburbs, right
Yeah.
off 290 like
Yep.
that. You don't even have to
Yeah.
get into the city.
I don't think that 7,000. I don't think that's unrealistic.
How many
at all.
how many people go to the one in West Virginia?
I don't know, but it's a little different, right?
This is Stooley Haven, though. Midwest, Big Ten
But
capital.
that's rough and rowdy Haven, so it's like both
Fair.
sides of the same coin.
and especially if you really built the card in a way, you know what I mean? You get like
Yeah.
a fucking Rita Mount Carmel kid, a Patch Notre Dame kid. Like you could, there's
That
way
would
to
be-
like,
yeah.
there's ways to like. That's always been my dream is to really, make
Yeah.
that happen. But I mean, it doesn't
It'd be
sound-
great if we
tried
could get
to.
a former Bear and a former Packer.
Yes, shit like that.
They didn't they try to do that at Joe's one year, and like the Illinois Gaming Commission was like, get fucked.
No,
Dan
it's
has always
fickle
said
with
it's
them.
like his dream to have it at Joe's, but I don't think they ever
At this
actually
point-
got close.
I don't think.
Yeah,
I
where
think
would the
Joe's
ring?
would
That'd
be
be crazy.
way too small.
Yeah,
Yeah,
But that'd be kind of cool.
I mean, with the
though.
ring, you can only hold like four
It'd be an
people.
intimate experience.
yeah.
I always think it'd be funny if
you're
too
getting
big-
splattered. You're
It'd be
getting-
romantic to get splattered by spit and blood.
That's not romantic.
I always thought it'd be cool to have two big college teams play at like famous high school city gyms. Like the fucking Chicago Classic, and you have like
They should do that. We've been talking about that as a tournament. Like Philly does their 5. Like if Illinois should do that. We've been talking about that for like since like
We
18.
talked that with the USC. Northwestern was the one that said they don't want to do it, right? Is that what he said?
Loyola. It was the problem. The sticking point was Loyola and DePaul hate each other so much from like some old Catholic
They
rivalry.
played
thing.
this year.
They did.
Yeah. Or
That's
they
what,
played.
That's what
coming
Garrett
up.
told us.
No. I think it was Northwestern. I think it was the
I'm
Big
pretty
Ten
sure it's-
schools didn't
yeah.
want to do it because
They're punching down.
yes, the Big Ten schools are punching down. Yeah. That was
DePaul and
mine.
Northwestern play this Saturday in Evanston. It's actually going to be a good game. They're Northwestern's like fringe tourney team. And
Stand corrected. They played last weekend.
Yeah. Who won?
Loyola won 68-64.
Yeah, it's definitely Northwestern, I believe. Maybe, I don't know.
it would make sense. I'm pretty sure it was
I
Northwestern.
could have sworn he said that there was like an issue there, but I could be misremembering.
there's something weird too where UIC and Illinois don't play each other very often in anything.
Share the same budget, can't do it.
Right. It's so like why couldn't you do like a home and home or something? Oh, right.
Yeah, I'm just kidding. That's like people don't think of it that way. At least I don't. Do you guys?
What?
The University of Illinois,
They're in the same school system.
Chicago,
And Champaign.
or like I don't.
Yeah, I don't. I don't. I do for medical school. The UIC medical school is fucking great. They have a good college of business. I mean, it's a good school. It's just a completely different experience. Like my buddies that went to UIC, they lived at home till they were juniors, and then they got apartments. Like it was more of like
yeah.
the
It's
integrated.
It's
like they
got a
stayed
bigger
home.
enrollment than
Couple guys with family
Champaign.
businesses. Oh, I believe
It's the
really?
biggest school in the state. Yeah,
Come on, no,
it is.
really?
Yeah, it is. It's the biggest school in the state because of the commuter. You wouldn't think so,
Yeah,
but it is
massive
because of the
commuter.
commuter.
Be a different.
They got a
experience.
big nursing school.
They
got-
just overtook John Marshall, I believe.
they bought it. I
They
think.
bought it,
Yeah.
and now it's UIC
Oh, they're gonna
Law
make that.
School.
Oh, that's smart.
Yeah.
That's so smart. Holy fuck!
What do you think of
that's
John
smart.
Marshall? Was it considered?
I like John Marshall produces great lawyers with very low, with the institution itself has low academic prestige, relatively speaking. But a lot of that has to do with the fact that it's next to, You know, the University of Chicago and Northwestern, and then even amongst that, you got DePaul, Kent, Loyola. I mean, you got some really good Chicago law schools, but the thing about John Marshall is they've got really good flexible nighttime programs. So if you really want to be a lawyer, the people who are like, I want to be a lawyer, John Marshall's like, come on, we'll fucking coach you up, we'll teach you. It's pretty fucking expensive, but there are some amazing lawyers that come out of there because they have fucking grit and wit and they're sharp and all this stuff. And they got a little chip on their shoulder like, yeah, I'm not the fucking Northwestern guy, so I'm going to outwork you. And
The guy who partied a little bit too much.
Yeah.
And now he's like, hey, I should be a lawyer. Yeah.
those guys do well because the legal industry doesn't really care where you came from. Now, speaking of which, let's talk about another guy doing well. Friend of the program.
Who's that?
A guy who would probably go into Chicago or Northwestern, Tommy Rees.
Tommy Rees.
Yeah, he's going to jump on the program in a little bit to talk about really firsthand behind the scenes of what it was like when Coach Kelly was leaving, the stuff that was going through his mind personally, the transition of power with Marcus Freeman, a lot of stuff about the future of the program, loyalty. I mean, it's honestly one of the better interviews that I think we're ever going to put out.
So insightful. And it's one of those things where it was like chaos and he's in the eye of the hurricane. So it was like chaos of the internet, even if you're just a fan. And then he was like living like, this is my real fucking life, you know, like, so his analogies about like what it was like was really insightful and interesting. It like made you feel like you finally understood like what that 3-4 day period was like. So he was great interview. I love doing it. So shout out Tommy for coming on.
The Coach Kelly chaos in LSU is just ramping up too. The platform dancing video is
Keeps getting worse.
like, what is going on?
This guy.
But someone posted the video of him doing like that thing in front of like the Irish wall, and he was like, I don't know, like crouched and was giving the
peace
suit.
sign? Yeah.
So he's always done that kind of shit. I just feel like it's amplified now, and I mean I don't have an excuse for the accent. That was crazy, but
Right.
like the last video that he's done that shit, that's just amplified.
Okay.
But
And it feels a little disingenuous because he's not.
So like the tooth, like the peace sign thing that he did, like he was crouched down, like that took like supposedly like a lot of coaxing. Be like, come on, coach, come on, you know,
really?
you know, supposedly. And then he like flashed it up there, and it was like a joke, you know, like everybody like it became like a meme for like Notre Dame like internet, fans, whatever. This feels like so much like almost like premeditated, contrived. Like
It's like it was in his deal that he has to do this shit.
yeah, right.
Doesn't it feel like that? It's
It
like, hey man,
does.
Coach O, like character, Les Miles character, like we need you to fall in line. It's part of the brand.
And I Notre Dame is like still, buttoned up kind of program, so you could say that maybe he's like, oh, now I'm at LSU, I'm going to let loose. And like it just wasn't appropriate at Notre Dame. Maybe, I don't know, but it's tough to watch.
We do get Tommy's thoughts on it as well. So
Yeah.
I thought that was interesting. And like you said, I don't got to rehash everything. It was a great interview. If you're a Notre Dame person, I think you'll enjoy it. College football person, you'll enjoy it as well. So we'll use Dave's sneeze as a swish.
Whoosh.
All right, we're in the interview portion of today's Red Line Radio, and joining us is offensive coordinator, University of Notre Dame Fighting Irish, Tommy Rees. Tommy, thanks for joining us. I know it's been crazy for you the last, a week or so.
Yeah, appreciate it. It's been, 11 days or so. It's been wild times, but thanks for having me on.
Yeah, so walk us through that. What happened? Like, did you know? Like, what was like the timeline from your end? You probably were freaking out more than anybody.
Yeah, I was actually with Coach like the immediate 48 hours after the game. So we played Stanford Saturday. We stay out on the West Coast to recruit. So like immediately after our last game, whether it's SC or Stanford, we stay out there and we start recruiting. And so like for us, we essentially go see all the kids we have committed and make sure that everything's good. This is the time where you're allowed to go into their homes and do that thing. So Sunday, I played golf at San Francisco Golf Club with Coach Kelly, 9 of his buddies, and like a couple members there that are Notre Dame guys. So I was in his group. We left the hotel at like 9. We got back to the hotel at like 11 at night. So like it was a long day, right? Like we were playing golf, then we ended up going to dinner. Fun day. I mean, great day. It was beautiful. We just won. We're 11-1. Get to go play golf at this awesome course. So then the next morning and that whole Monday, I was with him recruiting. And so Look, there were some rumblings online, but like nothing that would have alluded to the fact that it was happening. And so, then when we're going to the airport after our in-home visit that night, that's when everything started hitting Twitter and was all over the internet. And then we got to the plane. Before we got on the plane, he took a phone call, which, was probably the final straw there. And then he came on the plane, and I was with two other assistant coaches, and he told us, "Hey guys, I'm going to LSU." We were headed down Orange County, and he said from Portland, and he said, "Hey, we'll drop you guys off, and I'm getting on another flight back to South Bend. I want to get with the team as soon as I can." And so that was a very quiet plane ride. Like, you guys watch Succession?
Yeah.
Like the next 3 days, it was like I was in the show Succession trying to figure out like what side of the fence to fall on. But I knew shortly after that like I was going to have an opportunity to go to LSU. So like I was pretty calm because I knew like I had a job, right? And so, and kind of what I told our recruits and told our players, like, you got to be sensitive to like the coaches in this instance, because like if Coach Kelly leaves Notre Dame, they're not guaranteed a job at Notre Dame, right? Yeah. And some of them aren't guaranteed a job at LSU. So like it completely, uproots their lives. And so like I knew I was safe, which is great, but there's still all this, other stuff going on. But, I'm with guys that weren't and didn't know. And so like you're trying to balance that and be respectful and supportive and handle all that stuff the right way. But, we ended up landing in Orange County. And the good thing about traveling with Coach Kelly is you travel in a nice way and you stay in pretty nice hotels. So we were actually at the Ritz-Carlton in Laguna Beach, and me and the other two assistant coaches were there, and we ended up just going down to the bar that night and sitting there for a while talking and having a few drinks. And then the next morning kind of everything hit the fan, and that's when I talked to Coach again that morning and talked through some stuff. And then Notre Dame reached out, and our athletic director wanted to meet in person, and he wanted to meet later in the week. And I just told him, look, I don't think I'm gonna have that much time, and the sooner the better. So I got on a flight from Orange County to South Bend. So I went Orange County to Minnesota down into South Bend, got in at like 10 o'clock at night, and met with our AD that night from, like 10:30 to 1 o'clock in the morning. So that was, and then the next 24 hours, or not even 24, like 12 hours, that was, okay, now you have to make the decision and on where you want to be. So that, like, from Sunday morning to Wednesday mid-afternoon was like the most stressful time I've had. And I seriously, like, the only thing I can compare it to is like an episode of Succession. It was like private jets, private phone calls, black cars, like midnight meetings, bourbon. It was like the whole thing was just like, where do I fall in this whole situation?
So then, did you go with Kendall? I guess is like, what's the analogy?
I don't know.
Spoilers.
Spoilers. Like, there was a time where I was like, so when I was with Coach Kelly and all of his boys, I'm like, I'm clearly Greg the cousin in this situation. And like, those two guys that are in the show that like kind of just show up. Yeah, I don't even know their names. But
like Frank and
Frank and
the
Carl,
other guy, Carl. Yeah.
So like his buddies, I'm like, these guys are just like Frank and Carl. Like, nobody really knows what they do if they're around. And I'm like the weird cousin that I don't really know where I fall into this whole thing. So we're just trying to figure it out. But
what did you, Tommy? We talked a little bit beforehand. That 12 hours I'm sure was crazy, and you might have looked for advice from a ton of people. Is there anyone that kind of sticks out and something that they told you that kind of helped your decision when you had a conversation there?
Yeah. Look, I reached out to a lot of people. Like, I reached out, like Mike Tirico calls our games, reached out to me, and he's unbelievable. And him and I are close. Like, he's always offering advice. He was somebody that was really supportive and like just made me think of it from a new lens. I talked to Coach Fitz, who I'm close with, because he's been in that situation, right? Like, now he's on a larger scale, like head coach. Like, are you going to leave Northwestern for these other opportunities, or what's made you stay? Fitz was probably the one that had the most advice that like was tangible that I could really grasp to. Obviously I have an agent who helped kind of walk through some things. My dad's been in the profession a long time, but he did a pretty good job of kind of being hands off and allowing me to work through it. the best advice I got was just like, if you take everything else away, like where are you going to end up being, the most at peace or the happiest, and just, trying to work through some of that. And look, like there could have been a lot of different emotions that went through that decision, but, I try to just look at it in a very, matter of fact way and figure out like what's ultimately going to lead to the, to me being the most fulfilled and happiest in what I'm doing. And so, look, I care about this place. When I got back around the players, like I immediately knew I made the right decision. Like that night, Wednesday night, after I told the offense I was staying, like Freeman and one of our recruiting, like they were at my house until 2:00 in the morning, and like we were recruiting and making calls, and there was just like an energy there and like an excitement of like this new chapter of getting started that I was very appreciative of Coach Kelly and everything he gave me, but like there's a new life to what we were doing. And like anytime you kind of start something new, there's some excitement to it. So, I was very appreciative of his support and the support we got, but like that new chapter started and I immediately knew I made the right decision.
Were you aware of like the social media campaigns out there, hashtag pay Tommy Rees, and you saw like all the, like a lot of your quarterbacks were like getting in on that? Were you aware of that while you were making the decision? Did that impact you at all? Like knowing that the guys wanted you back?
Twitter.
Yeah.
Yeah, you see it on Twitter. Look, I know I have a good relationship with the guys, and like if it was up to them, we'd all be back, right? But you don't know that it's going to be an opportunity for you. Like when the LSU thing gets offered, right? Your immediate reaction is you're excited as hell, like naturally, right? Like here's an unbelievable opportunity, because at that moment you're like, okay, well, I don't have a job at Notre Dame anymore. Like if they bring in Coach X or whatever, like there's no guarantee that he's keeping me. And even if he wants to, like that arranged marriage rarely works out well, And so you're immediately excited, and you're like, "Oh, I'm going to go play in the SEC and be in Baton Rouge." And like it's just a new life. And my friends rename our group chat the Baton Rouge Boys, and it's like just like all of a sudden it's snowballing. And then the further you get away from that initial conversation, and you start like looking at everything, and the Notre Dame thing comes back, you start to come back to, okay, let's reevaluate all this. And so, obviously you see everything on Twitter, you saw the stuff for free and you saw the stuff for me. And, when the video of Bayless staying came out, like that hit me, like that impacted me. And like I was in the airport that night and I called him to talk through everything with him. And like that was impactful. So it doesn't drive your decision, but like it's nice to know that the support's there. And I would say, like the one constant since all this went down is like, look, I've been part of Notre Dame since 2009 when I started getting recruited, and it's been 12 years. And there was, a 4-year gap there where I wasn't here, but like, this is the most support that I've ever felt from like the Notre Dame nation. And this is the most like energy and like positive buzz that has ever been around the program. And like, I use the other analogy, I think I was talking, I don't remember who else, but like I felt like Notre Dame was the Alamo, and like it was under attack, and like everybody was going to die, right? And I wanted just to be there to help. Like I felt that sense Tuesday, and like I wanted to be there to help fight for Notre Dame football. And like I've never really like felt something like that. And like I'm not some kid that was a Notre Dame homer growing up, and yeah, I've been part of the program, but like I look at it really as like, this is my job, like this is what I'm supposed to be doing, like this is why I'm doing it. Whereas like I felt this like sense of allegiance to being there to help support the program, support the guys, and help get through this, crazy week.
Yeah. How much do you think your job will change in this new, like where Kelly, he's an offensive coach and you're the offensive coordinator, like Freeman's obviously the defensive guy. How much do you anticipate your job changing, if at all?
Yeah. I mean, I think not a whole lot, right? Like I think you still have to put together a good game plan, call the game. I think an instance like, there's going to be more autonomy on my side of the ball now, which is something that I've wanted, right? And that was a big factor in my decision. Not that Coach Kelly was like overbearing or doing a whole lot like to mess with the offense, but naturally he's an offensive guy. Like there's going to be some opinions and things there, and certain things that we do in practice that he always wanted. And so there's going to be a little bit of tweaks there, but at the end of the day, like my job is still to make sure that our players are in a good spot to be successful, to put together a good game plan, to keep them motivated, and ultimately go execute on Saturdays. So like, it doesn't change a whole lot. There's some little things that, nobody would know besides the guys that are in this building. That will change, but I'm excited just for the opportunity to kind of be, completely in charge of this side of the ball.
Okay.
Now, for you, was Freeman always a piece of the puzzle that had to fit in with this equation, during that 12 hours and everything? Was it really the campaign, or were you worried that they were going to open up a coaching search? Like, how big was Freeman into your decision?
Yeah. I don't know how much. I think that, when Jack made the decision, it was very important that the pieces that were here stayed, right? And so I don't know how much of a package it really it was, but it seemed that way, right? Okay, if this happens, then this happens, right? And so the initial conversation was, okay, Tommy, how do we keep you here? And how do we, make sure that you're fulfilled and happy and you're part of this thing? Because this is a route that we can go. If we go this route, will that keep you here? And so Marcus and I, obviously, we talked a ton from Monday night, Tuesday morning until Wednesday night, right? And so I met with Jack Tuesday night. Marcus met with him Wednesday morning. So, we wanted the pieces to all align. And, for me, keeping him and obviously him becoming the head coach was important. There probably wasn't another guy that I would have stayed for, if that makes if they're bringing someone else in, unless it's somebody I had a relationship with, that arranged marriage stuff doesn't work a whole lot. So this was a natural way to keep the pieces together. And it just shows we've done a really good job the last 4 to 5 years of developing this program and putting it in a we've won double-digit games since 2017, and the program's in a really healthy spot and the culture is strong. And, Jack saw that and wanted to keep that in place. And, I believe that we're going to be able to raise that to another level under Marcus's leadership. And, my decision was, it really came down to okay, how much do I believe in Marcus and his vision and where he can take this program? And I had 36 hours to decide that, because you don't think about that during the season, right? I have a ton of respect for Marcus and I think the world of him, but you don't think of it in that lens until you're forced to. And so for me, that was the decision I had to make. And ultimately, I believe a whole lot in Free and what he's going to bring to this program. I believe he's a player first coach. He wants the players to be the focus, right? And he wants to put them in good positions. He wants them to drive this program. And I believe in all those things. He's a great person. He's a great recruiter. He's a hell of a coach. All of those things align with what I believe in. And he's somebody that I trust explicitly. And he's somebody that I'm excited to work for. I'm excited for the opportunity to kind of create this new Notre Dame, right? All of a sudden, Notre Dame is cool, which it never has been. You know what I mean? And I'm excited to be a part of that. And the more I talk to him about it and, obviously, work through some things in my head, the more I realize this is a no-brainer. This guy's going to do a great job as the head coach, and let's go support him and help him and be a part of something new here.
Were you sitting around on Saturday after you had made your decision just being please God, let us into the playoff? Watching all the games, or are you just kind of business as usual?
I was all over Chicago Saturday, actually.
Well, thanks for the phone call.
Yeah, my fault. I was trying to keep – I was just – I came in Friday night after a long week of recruiting, and I had a big dinner with, 12 of my friends and significant others, just kind of celebrate. And, I hadn't seen my girlfriend in 2 weeks. And so we came in the city and we had a nice dinner that night. And then we kind of, bounced around watching the games. So, yeah, obviously, look, Oklahoma State loses early, you're holy crap.
Here we go. Yeah.
Obviously Bama, I thought Bama was going to win, to be honest with you. I just thought the quarterback was going to find a way to let him win.
Mm-hmm.
And then the Cincinnati game got a little dicey, but you didn't feel great about that. And then you have the night game, it's Iowa-Michigan. And you're out of all the games, this was the one we were hoping it didn't come down to, probably, So, yeah, obviously, look, we were rooting to get in the playoffs, and I was, and my friends were. And but 11-1 Fiesta Bowl, 5th in the country. It's a hell of a year.
Mm-hmm.
But we'll be back in the playoffs soon enough. So, if Georgia could have just held on, we'd be there.
Now, you guys got so much better as the year went along. Like, is that just like program building, or like what happened? It seemed like everything kind of clicked both offensively and defensively at the same time, like kind of middle of the year. Maybe how do you explain that?
Program development, like we're a developmental program, a lot of the time, we have to continue to work with guys and get them ready to play. Like we were playing 7 true freshmen on offense. Mm-hmm. The Virginia Tech game was the turning point, right? Like we lost to Cincy the week before. We're down 9 with like 3 minutes and 50 seconds left in the game, and we won, which doesn't happen, right? Mm-hmm. And like Jack played, he started slow. We put Tyler in. Tyler had a nice game, then threw a pick 6, and then hurt his ankle. So we put Jack back in, and Jack led these 2 unbelievable 2-minute drives. And, that was, the first game. We started a couple guys up front that were different. Like we started Joe Alt for the first time at left tackle. Kristofik ended up playing left guard after like the second series and the rest of the game. And, I think just like the maturity of that group up front and like their ability to improve throughout the year led to a lot of our success. Like I've always believed in like, you have to be great up front to be a really good team. And we weren't early in the year. We just weren't. And those guys continue to work, continue to get better, and we found the right pieces and we found the right blend of the 5 guys. And, they steadily build, towards being a pretty damn good unit here down the stretch. And, like, to me, that's where it started. Yeah, we tweaked some stuff in the offense. We changed what we were doing a little bit. But, like, as soon as we were able to, like, shore things up front, that's what led to our running game getting better and the time for Jack to have a great second half of the year. And, guys just believing in what we were doing and staying the course. And, it's a shame that it took, 5 or 6 weeks to get to that point. But look, we had a young team and we had to develop these guys and we had to find the right pieces. Like we played 5 left tackles in the first 5 weeks of the season. The kid who's arguably our best lineman is a true freshman, gets hurt in third quarter against Florida State. Like, then we were trying to find the right piece, and we ended up finding it in another true freshman left tackle. Like that was going to take some time. Mm-hmm. And so, like all the credit in the world to the guys up front and the coaching that went into that. And so, to me, that's where the biggest jump happened.
Now, you said before we got on, signing day is Tuesday, Wednesday? Wednesday. Are you feeling like, you said Notre Dame's cool for the first time ever. Are you feeling that when you talk to these recruits now, like since you and Freeman took over?
Trying to get them to see it. I think there's still some hurdles, obviously. But look, Freeman's created such an energy and such a new life in recruiting that those guys feel it. Like our players and our recruits all feel it. So I think, he does an unbelievable job of connecting with those guys. And I think that's made a huge impact on a lot of people and families. And, we're looking to close out this class, which is pretty dang strong. So we're excited for the next 5 days.
You said that, all right, so Notre Dame for the first time since at least you've been affiliated with the program is cool. Have you leaned on any players like team captains or anything in recruiting over the last week or 10 days or so to like kind of prove that and hammer that point home? Do you get like the, whoever ex-player, the tight end or whatever on the phone with the running back from the Los Angeles area and be like, yo, this Marcus Freeman, he's the fucking deal. He's the real deal.
Yeah, I mean, I think there are a lot of weird rules in recruiting. And so, like, some of that stuff's not allowed. Okay. Right? So, fair. I think, like, the reaction of the team on Twitter, when you see the video and you see how they react, like, that's something we point to. Like, if you want to know how our guys feel about it, like, just watch the video. Like, that's real. And that's not, stage or acted. Like, that's a real, reaction. So, yeah, there's rules that we can't get into, obviously. But
like, hey, Michael Merritt, jump on this FaceTime real quick. Yeah,
I didn't know that.
No, Mike would not do it. Trust me. Okay. Screw, stop, get out of here.
Tommy, is there a sense of bad blood against Coach Kelly though? Is that there?
No, I mean not on our end. Like, look, and it's no different than any profession. Like, you have to make decisions that are best for your family and best for whatever path you want to take professionally. And so, look, there's no easy way to handle these situations, right? And like with media and Twitter and all that, like stuff spirals out of control. Like Coach, I was with him. Like he wanted to be there to tell the team. Like he was genuinely like bummed out that he couldn't be the one to be there to tell the team. Like I was with him. I know it for a fact. And, on my end, like, look, coach gave me my opportunity to play. He hired me to be his offensive coordinator when I was 27 years old. So like I have zero bad blood, and like telling him I wasn't coming is one of the hardest conversations I've ever had to have. So
how did he react to
I
that?
had zero. He was very supportive. I mean, he was good. He was good. He told me I was making a mistake. But other than that, he was good. No, I don't sense that at all. Like everybody understands what this profession is and understands like, hey, you're out of school for 12 years. Like there's going to be a time where it's, hey, I want to try something new. It's no different than any other profession. Now it's in the spotlight and people criticize it because they think they know what football is. And like, that's the problem, is that people think they understand because they like the game, but they really don't. And so
how much do you think that was? Do you think it was like the Southern thing? Like, hey, I want to give this a shot. Like I just think
it's a new challenge, right? Like, I think, look, a lot of people thought, hey, coach is going to ride this thing out a couple of years and retire. Like he clearly wants to keep coaching. And like, he wanted some new energy and new life to allow him to like engage in that. And so, like, I think it's great for coach. I really do. Like, you want to go with a new challenge and you want to be in a new situation and, one time again, create a winning program, because everywhere he's been, he's done that, then go do it. Like, this is your life, your profession. Go chase that. Like, I have no problem with it. And so, look, I think there's a lot of factors to it. I don't think a lot of them are what people are talking about. And, I'm excited for him. I'm excited to see what he does down there. And I think he's won everywhere he's gone. So I don't think it's
going to he's going to win there.
Yeah, he's going to win there.
He's going to win there.
You guys are going to have to recruit against each other now, though. Like, how's that? Is that going to be awkward for you? Or, like, how do you approach that with a 16 to 18-year-old kid, sitting in their living room?
Yeah, I mean, we'll recruit against them a little bit. But no, I don't think it's awkward. We don't negative recruit. Mm-hmm. Some schools do. We try to stay out of that world. We'll try to show them why Notre Dame's the best fit for them. If they see it, great. If they don't, we'll find another great player. But
what'd you think of the accent video?
Yeah, you got to answer. You got to be honest. You got to be honest.
It was great. I mean, look, I've been around people. Like, I was up in the Northeast yesterday talking to a hockey coach, and all of a sudden your voice starts changing. Like, what the hell am I doing?
Start dropping your R's.
Yeah. So, like, I think it's natural, right? I mean, it happens. It happens. I don't know.
That was such a nice answer. That was such a nice answer. That's Brian Kelly gave me my shot kind of answer.
Yeah.
Will you guys try to schedule them?
That is so not up to me, Like, I'm sure they will. That somehow always happens.
Yeah.
I'll be like 27 or whatever.
Yeah.
That is definitely not up to me. I think the only time we've played them in a bowl, played them in 17.
Yep.
You guys played him
in
a Sugar Bowl?
No,
it was Brady Quinn?
Sugar Bowl with Brady Quinn.
That was way back, yeah.
Yeah, way back.
Yeah. Jamarcus Russell.
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah, we played him in 17. We won late. And then they played him in 14 or 15 and beat him.
Yeah. They played him a couple times. So, all right, that's all I got for you, Tommy. Anybody else have any final thoughts here?
I was just curious if at any point did you look up real estate in Baton Rouge, like while he was talking about, like how far did you Google, or were you like going on Instagram looking at cool places?
Your dollar probably goes a long way in Baton Rouge.
I did go Zillow Baton Rouge. Yeah, I did. I was curious. They were talking about a country club. I like to golf. That was appealing. Yeah, I did.
Cajun Creole food fan, like little jambalaya?
I am. Here's like a tidbit that I probably shouldn't share, but I will. So that Monday night, we didn't know yet. We didn't know what was going on. All right. So anyway, we're at a house. I'll just keep it very generic. We're at a house, maybe take where we were out of it. And we show up for dinner, and I didn't realize this till after, because obviously, like, I didn't know what was going on yet. But the dad made Louisiana-style barbecue shrimp. And, like, looking back on it, I'm like, holy crap. Like, what are the chances that this was all
like
happening?
An omen.
This is what we're eating for dinner. But yeah, I do like all that food.
Did Kelly eat it? Because that would be funny if he
That-
was like,
yeah.
it's not for me.
He stays
I
at Notre
actually
Dame.
don't think he had any shrimp. I think
Oh,
he stuck in every school.
Not a culture fit. Not a culture
Yeah, I
fit.
don't know. I don't remember. I wasn't like paying too close attention to what was on his plate, but that was like something I looked back on. Like, what are the chances that that's what it went down?
Did you walk out of there and be like, that was not your best work? That was not your best sales pitch, coach?
We walked out and we were probably still in the driveway, and that's when like this news started hitting.
Okay. Oh, stuff.
Fun car ride.
Yeah, I'm sure. It sounds great. Super
Yeah,
awkward.
in very succession. We're in like a black car driving. There's 4 of us. Everyone's on their phone. No one knows what's going on.
It really is the best way to put it. It's just, I just like you say that, and I feel it. I feel like what
Yeah.
it was like for you. It's crazy
Yeah.
because of the show. But no, this is great, Tommy. I mean, I think we talked about in the show last week that it feels like Notre Dame. You know, a lot of ways when someone gets plucked like that, it feels like there could be a scary time for the program. It weirdly feels like Notre Dame's just going to keep chugging along with you guys. So obviously
Everyone
best
is
of
acting
luck.
like Notre Dame's better off, and I believe that too. I feel like Notre Dame's
I
like
believe it,
yeah.
and I'm the house Notre Dame.
hater.
I like the players.
You can
and
you can tell Tommy you hate his guts.
No, I don't.
I don't
Tommy. I've
care.
talked
I
to
don't care.
Tommy about this. I hate Notre Dame because I like hating other. It's fun to hate
fun to
another
hate.
school.
Yeah,
But
How's
I like
Northwestern doing?
it is a dumpster fire to say the least. They'll be fine though. I think. I hope.
Yeah,
I'm
Chris will
praying.
get it right.
Yeah, he'll get it right. But
all right, national championship next year. Can't wait.
I'll look
it's
forward to
it's gonna happen within the next handful of years.
Yep, the undefeated
coming
blog will
from
write
the-
itself.
Yep.
So can't wait.
Yeah, you got plenty of material for next year.
I think so. It will literally write itself. Can't wait for that Ohio State game. It's going to be great. What a way to kick off the Freeman Rees era.
Oh shit, that's right. That's right.
Yeah.
That's gonna be a lot of fun.
And it's his alma mater.
You're right. Yeah.
Yep.
Is that
Yeah.
in South Bend or is that the Horseshoe?
That's at the Horseshoe.
I might have to make a trip. A trip. All right. Well, Tommy, thanks so much for joining us. That was great. So congratulations.
You got it.
I'm still trying on being cousin Greg, I guess. I mean, the guy who's sneaky running the whole thing. So, all right. That's great. Yeah, we'll talk to you soon, Tommy. Thanks a lot.
All right, guys.
Go
Thanks
Irish.
so much.
That's Tommy Rees. Very excited to see where the Notre Dame program goes under
To the
his
top.
Yeah, under his continued leadership, and a lot of Saturdays in our future watching Notre Dame sitting at Hooters, because Hooters is just a great place to watch football, guys.
Unbelievable place to watch football.
And tell the people about the wings.
Well, it's your go-to spot for killer wings.
Wings are unreal. Get the Daytona style with Daytona sauce. That's my secret. That's my big thing there. I'll preach that forever.
What's
Try those out.
Daytona style?
So Daytona style is almost like I want to do it right, but it's almost like an oven baked.
Ooh.
Yeah, you know, have you ever
Okay.
had it like that?
Yeah.
And it's very good. They might even throw it on the flat top. I don't know how they do it, but it's not like your typical breaded Hooters wing.
Interesting.
It's very good.
I like that.
Very
Maybe a
good.
little baking soda.
Yes,
crisp it up.
you would like it.
Yeah.
You would like it.
Yeah.
I know.
I
for a
show
fact.
up for the breaded wing, though.
That's great too.
Okay,
that's
perfect.
why. Like, don't think I'm not getting those as well.
Okay.
You got to get a little bit
You
of
know,
both.
sampler power.
Yeah, Dave, you know, you always
Oh,
got to
yeah,
fucking
yeah.
mix and match.
Always mix and match. I've always said this. One of my favorite things about Hooters is their fried pickles.
Yeah, good
Outstanding
appetizer.
fried pickles.
But you don't even really like pickles.
I don't, but for whatever reason, at Hooters, the fried pickles are outstanding.
Well, I
Probably because they're fried. But I mean, Ed, we'd be remiss to not talk about the world famous Hooters Girls. What do you think about the Hooters Girls?
I love them. You love them. Chief loves them. Carl loves them.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody loves the world famous Hooter Girls. It's actually nice. We get to, on like these trips and stuff, like the Indy 500, we met some of the world famous Hooter Girls. They're great girls. Very nice people.
Very nice.
And the beauty is, too, you also don't have to travel to get them. You could go to Hooters.com. So it's Barstool. Use code Barstool and you get $10 off $50 plus orders, which is a nice deal.
It's huge.
Yep. Check out
$10 off.
Hooters.com.
I mean,
That's
like
20%.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right.
That's
so,
nice. And, you know, like if you're getting a couple boys, like $50 is easy.
Big
You know,
time.
easy.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
that's a
It's
nice
funny.
deal.
You go to the website, the first thing you see at Hooters.com/Barstool is a picture of Caleb with one of the Hooters girl. Looks like Caleb's
Enjoying himself.
on an investigation.
And when you are there, like they do, like we were there for a Saturday for college football like a month ago. Every game's on. Like they just have TVs everywhere. You could you turn your head. There's just every single game you need to see. So it's a great atmosphere for watching games. I feel like it's people forget that a little bit.
We love Hooters.
We do.
TVs as far as the eye can see.
We don't love
What?
Matt Nagy.
Were you?
What don't you love about
Why?
him?
He was having so much fun.
Yeah, I
He
don't
needs to
know.
shut the fuck up, man.
Well, if he was asked, I mean, what are you going to do? To his defense, right?
Why? Or pull a Belichick, say nothing.
Justin Fields made some fucking great throws. I know he had the bad pick six. I know whatever, but
I thought
Yeah,
that was
I-
his worst game.
I actually didn't. Yeah, I was kind of
Yeah.
I got
disappointed.
shit
he's
on
getting
for
his
saying
fucking
that.
shit kicked in. He's coming off a bad rib injury.
He said he felt it on every throw too.
Yeah, I'm not like out on him, but like I just overall. if
I
you're
mean,
gonna-
you saw the A-Rob video.
yeah.
How the fuck is he getting open if that's how he's?
Well, because I was wondering that in between. I'm like, man, how come? Because it's a mystery. Allen Robinson, I know he missed like 3 weeks, but he only has one touchdown, and like he has not done anything all year. So I was like, man, I was really watching like A-Rob. I was like, what is going on? Like, why can't they give him the ball? I think he got like 6 targets. A lot of them were in garbage time.
Yeah.
But like, I just don't understand it. To me, it felt like just Fields, and they talked about it. And Collinsworth was saying it's not Ohio State. You can't lock on receivers. It does kind of feel like he goes that first route, that quick hot route to whoever, Monty or the dump off. It feels like he looks there a lot. Did you guys get that vibe?
I can agree with that.
Yeah, like I don't like.
I
kinda-
wasn't paying attention to that. I can't say that I picked up on that necessarily, but I saw the chart, his attempt chart, and he had one. I think he had one attempt over 20 yards. It was a completion down the sideline, and so yeah, I mean he's not throwing it deep and not throwing it very much to the outside. But that I don't. It's one of those things where it's like I don't know how much of it is him. How much of it is the play calling, the staff, the design of the play, et cetera. But, yeah, it seems like maybe self-preservation to a degree, too. You got rookie tackles everywhere, and I don't know. It's like I'm just so done with this season. I can't believe we have another month of this. Like
That's the worst part.
Yeah.
That extra game
Yeah.
just makes the season seem like an extra season. Like we could be 3 games left, ride it out. Nope, we got a whole month.
And
And
they
that-
moved it back. January 9th is tough.
Yeah.
Oh, there's a Monday night game coming up like this week here, guys. So
Yeah.
like Sunday night against the Packers is one thing you expect to lose Sunday night, even though 27 points in the first half. Was there any point, you guys, where you're like, why can't we fucking?
It was all like
It was all like, I mean, special
chunk
team,
crazy
yeah, it was-
plays too. Yeah, and even the pass that went across was who got that one? I'm blanking on it now. It was like a slant route that went for was that Grant too? Yeah. For 75, 80 yards or whatever it was. It was not like it was like, oh, okay. But it wasn't like the sustained drives that you wanna see. So I don't know. It was I never felt like the Bears were gonna win that game.
No.
Like-
Absolutely.
Well, because the
fucking
Packers just
not.
kept answering.
yeah.
Our DBs. Whew.
Woof.
PU.
Yeah.
PU. That was disgusting. What are you laughing at?
I don't know where PU ever came from, but I know exactly what you mean.
It was PU, though.
PU.
That's what like
you
parent,
stink.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All of
Good
them.
way to say it, though. PU. They were horrible, dude.
Jalen Johnson's been, I think, the only good DB this year.
And he made mistakes.
He got roasted a few times. Just put in a spin cycle.
Yeah, I mean, Devontae's a fucking...
Yeah, he's
He's a stud.
I might be the best receiver in football. He's awesome, but fuck, man. A lot of bad. A
was
lot
tough.
of bad.
And then, like you said, Allen Robinson, I don't like...
None of that makes sense to me.
Let him go home. Like, why? What's the point of having him suit up for the next 4 weeks?
Right.
Yeah.
He clearly doesn't want to be there. He didn't want his deal, but I don't know what's he expecting either. If he wants $20 million a year from somebody,
he's not going to get that after this year. Yeah.
Because like I still hold firm, like he's number one wide receiver, but like what do you? I don't understand that logic of thinking, right?
Yeah, it's like, is he out on Nagy? Is he out on the team? Is he out on the organization? Is he out on Justin Fields as a quarterback? Because he has a lot of games under his belt for that fucking team where things haven't been all bright and rosy, where maybe, you know, those around him aren't near. I mean, like, he's gone out and played in worse circumstances where there's fucking, you know, that you're watching the offense fall apart in real time, where you go into the season with hope and you just see it in real time. Like, there was never really that much hope around this football team. No. And the fact that, like, now he's picking the time to be like, yeah, I'm just going to throw in the fucking towel, it's a little discouraging.
Yeah.
I mean, he's had opportunities before to do it.
But that's what's weird, too, is he was productive with Mitch, and he even was his most productive games, I think, were his first two with Dalton. So,
yeah,
it's tough to correlate what really happened.
Any look ahead?
I mean, like you said, we just got to fucking gut this Monday night game and get through it, right?
The last two games of the calendar year, the Monday night game against the Vikings, which is going to be probably worse because you're going to lose at home to a team you probably could beat, or, you know.
Yeah.
And then they go Seahawks after the day after Christmas. They've got like a 3 o'clock, and that's tough.
Yeah.
That's going to be a tough 3 o'clock.
It's going to be tough, yeah. And, I mean, the Seahawks aren't good, but.
It's been an ugly game. Just sit there watching them play the Seahawks.
Yeah.
Like,
and
come
at
on.
3 o'clock, you got to sit there and, like, yeah.
Did you get a little tingly with the reports about Trace Armstrong? I know he came out and denied it.
No, yeah.
But I like just the fact that they were rumored to be hiring a head of football operations. Like, I don't know anything about Trace Armstrong.
Isn't he Ryan Day's agent?
And
he's like
right?
Nagy's agent, Josh McDaniels' agent, Brian Kelly's agent, Lincoln Riley's agent. He's been a busy the last few weeks, and he's got a few of the Bears assistants.
Jeez.
He's got coaches everywhere that are his clients. So yeah, I don't know, but I don't care if it's Trace Armstrong specifically. You know, he did play for the Bears. He's got, you know, ties, whatever. But it would be nice just to be like, oh my God, like maybe they're actually reevaluating how their organization is structured, so they can bring in a guy who can fire Pace and Nagy, hire a GM, and then hire a coach. So that I don't know if they talk to Trace or not about that. I mean, it makes sense that he would deny that. I mean, how many times have we seen a guy, you know, up for a job, college job or otherwise, be like, no, I'm happy here. And then 3 weeks later, he's like, oh, by the way, yeah, that report was true. So who knows? Like, I don't know if it's true or not, but it's just, I like the idea that George and Virginia and Ted are sitting around being like, we don't know what the fuck we're doing.
Yeah, but I'm not. I mean, I get your excitement, but I'm not going to ever do that
until it's official.
Yes, I will never buy into that until it happens. Why would we? Right? Same with
It's true.
That's Dave buying into a fucking $100+ million player with Jerry Reinsdorf. You know what I mean? It's just, you can't do it.
Right.
Can't do it.
That was a just unnecessary low blow.
But it was true.
Ricochet shot.
Yeah, it was.
It was a fair shot.
It was harsh but fair. Harsh but fair.
Speaking of free agency, I can confirm Rizzo's done
Ooh.
in Chicago. It's just tough scene.
I had a buddy. He saw him and Chelios at Red Square in the sauna.
Him and Chelly, they had dinner with Nico Horner and Dempster too.
Really?
That sounds like a nice little boys' day around town.
Yeah, he was like, "Hey man, you coming back?" He's like, "I don't think so, man."
Chelios and Rizzo went to Sebastian Maniscalco together. So like they were just boys all weekend, I guess. But
well, that's a throwback to simpler times.
Yeah,
it's 2015 season when you could do stuff like that. You could hang around town. You wouldn't have to get shit on by a bunch of people. It's just sad though. He packed up the apartment and they're out. And it sounds like some of the stuff with the Cubs, like they didn't have not having a GM, which is something we've talked about on the show before. We're like, yo, they just like didn't have a GM. And like there's like concrete examples like coming up to the trade deadline and stuff where there were like players on the Cubs that were like, hey, can we talk? Can we do this stuff? And it was like, hey, we don't have a GM. Like things are really busy.
What?
Which is like crazy to think about that the Chicago Cubs like didn't have like or like leaned on a lack of infrastructure at certain points with different players to be like, well, this kind of holds up our process a little bit. As a Cubs fan, I would say I'm torn because I've had like these very strong opinions about what the Cubs should do to get back to where they once were, and then there's other reports about what the Cubs want to do, and after talking to Riz, spending some time watching the Bears game together, and like, I would say comfortably I would rather rebuild the organization than go down this path. Because he's just like, dude, it's just impossible. It's fucking impossible to win Major League Baseball games. It's fucking impossible to go out and sign free agents and get them to play hard for you. It's fucking impossible to hit all that stuff. Like, you got to have a group. You got to bring them up together, and they got to be good fucking guys. And he's like, we had that. We had some fucks, but we had that. And that the group that came up and the veterans that then led us were like older brothers, and the camaraderie, and just like, I'm telling you, I've been in all the, like I've been around the clubhouses in 15 and 16 and a lot of 17 are like light years ahead of what else he's been in. Just crazy, man.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Is he going back to the Yankees because they got a gaping hole at first base without him there?
I don't think so. I pitched to him. I was like, what about going to Milwaukee? And he's like, that'd be tough. I'm like, well, you absolutely can't play in St. Louis. So like that's the one where you're like, well, you can never play there. You got to throw that one out. And the Milwaukee one is kind of interesting to me because like they would give the money, they have the budget, they need a first baseman, he knows the division and stuff. So would you guys think that's shitty if he did that?
No, I don't think he's going there though.
I don't think it's shitty if he goes anywhere. He's a fucking
get paid.
You don't want to if they don't want to pay you, go fucking whoever's gonna pay you.
And they already like
every single time
they already traded him. Like it's like
and like of course like in your mind like I agree the Cardinals are maybe not the best decision, but I mean it's happened.
I'm saying it, but it has happened. But I don't know if it's with a guy who just spent his whole time here. It'd be one thing Lester's on the So
I mean, Johnny Damon went and played for the Yankees. Like it's
but he came up with the Royals. He came up with the Royals and was an all-star with them, and then he fucked around in Oakland.
I thought it was Oakland first.
Kansas City,
Royals, Oakland, Red Sox.
But he's probably he's tainted to Red Sox fans. No, or have they gotten over it?
I don't know.
I mean that Grand Slam Game 7,
right? That's
04.
Yeah.
No, I know.
Was it the next year?
It was.
Yeah,
it was 2005. I'm pretty sure.
But he's also different because it was so jarring watching him cut the hair and the beard and like that was wrong. That was wrong.
Oh, we talked about that. I was like, so who he had like a little peach fuzz. I'm like, who's telling you that from the Yankees? He was laughing. They're fucking serious about that shit, man.
Really?
Yeah, they got somebody upstairs, like an upstairs person that's like will like have
just
put a letter together through the coaching staff, but someone upstairs like that's in the fucking main nucleus.
They leave like a Manscaped in your locker. They'll send you a message.
I wonder when they're gonna lift that.
Never.
You don't think ever?
Ever.
Not while
but
the
like,
Steinbrenners are there.
Remember when Jerry Reinsdorf, he didn't allow headbands?
Do you remember Ben that? Wallace signed $60 million deal, 4 years in he didn't know it until the first game.
He changed it. He changed the world. He changed the franchise forever. Who's gonna be the guy?
They made AJ and I think it was Creedy get haircuts at one point, and they like did it for a charity on like a live stream back in like 2007 or something. But Reinsdorf like went in a clubhouse and was like, "You guys, your hair is like way too shitty. Like, cut it right now. It was too long."
Oh, really?
Yeah. So he's a dick, just like Steinbrenner, except he doesn't spend the money like Steinbrenner does. He's the worst.
What do you think he thinks of like Kopech's, like Pony?
I think probably because it's in a bun.
He doesn't care.
It flies, but
he's
I don't
pro
know.
Bun.
As long as he doesn't have to see it, that's probably how he's. That's how guys like that, they're like, look at their sons. I don't have to see your bullshit. I'm fine with it. Deal with it. And it's probably extends the same to the staff. So I will say personally, hanging out, we were at Uproar, Dante's spot. And that was the first time I'd been there for an extended, like, 4-hour, like, having beers. Place is fucking great. They got the 2 TVs right there. Service all around you. Everybody knows each other. Very friendly. Good to see those rambunctious assholes. How far north is it on Wells? Uproar? What is that, like 12?
Not very forth.
1255 or something?
What's
more
division?
towards the division side, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like just north of the 1200
It's a stone's throw from Declan's.
So it's kind of like this fun little impromptu Christmas party. The only fun part was like, so there's no chance you're coming back?
I think he knows where he's going.
Yeah.
I mean, hey, he might regret that. If he does go to Milwaukee, he could have just fucking took an Uber Blade. and kept the same apartment, just coptered to.
I don't think he does know where he's going because Freddie Freeman hasn't signed yet. Freddie Freeman has to sign.
Going to set the market.
Yep.
Yeah, because then that was a big thing with the extension is because he was going to sign the extension, but Freddie Freeman had his deal and they've been neck and neck. And Goldschmidt had 5/130, and he was like, I'm not going to get 5/130. But Freeman, he and him have been neck and neck. I think he's 31 or 32.
Okay.
And so he and Freeman are either the same age or Freeman's 1 year older. And they have been kind of neck and neck where Freeman has been maybe 3% better than he is in his career. OP, all the ratio stuff, maybe like in the 3 to 5% range better. So the thing where Rizzo can kind of like lean on though in offseason now is like, well, Freeman, my age, all this shit, you put him in a good situation and, he's able to go and catapult, go down a World Series path. We'll see. Can hang his hat on that. What else?
I think that's really it, right?
Yeah.
No Bulls to
miss
speak
them.
of. No White Sox
Sad.
to speak
The
of.
entire Bulls team has COVID.
That's
the entire
true.
Well, they
organization.
postponed all the
Yeah.
games.
Hawks got their game postponed last night, too. NHL's so fucking stupid. How do you only have one game on the schedule? You got 32 teams. You got one game on the schedule. You have this big new TV deal with ESPN and TNT and Hulu and all this shit. And it's Hawks and Flames. And the Flames can't cross the border because of COVID issues. And then so it's just like we have no games.
Can I be honest, though?
What?
I don't know how they make schedules, so it's hard to judge them. It feels like that's a hard job, doesn't it?
You think? Why?
Yes.
I think that's, hey, we're going to design an algorithm and we're going to do this
pop it
with
in.
AI and you just plug it
Sure,
in.
maybe now, but like I
He
know
said
that
it's
we're
hard, and you go algorithm.
Yeah.
That's it. Yeah, that's hard.
Not
You're gonna
for
get
me.
I'm not
AI and
doing it, but
algorithm.
if you're a multi-billion-dollar sports organization, come up with some AI that can do a scheduling
but, like, you
matrix
gotta
that
book
gives you
the fucking-
more than one game on
yeah,
a
but
night.
like you got to book the use like I'm saying like
I
I
understand
don't know how
all
they
that.
book like the Hawks and the Bulls like that's
I
and
mean,
then you
it's-
get Sebastian in there like it's just
It's
Yeah, who
seems-
takes priority?
seems like a tough job.
So-
it seemed.
What'd you say?
no, I didn't want to interrupt. I'm saying, did you see also there's like 13 games on tonight?
Yeah,
14,
that's what I mean.
14 scheduled, one's postponed.
Tonight's an awesome.
Yesterday
night.
there was none.
Zero
Today there's
games.
13.
Yeah, like how do you like? This is what I'm talking about. They have 13. If someone has to play a back-to-back, which I don't even think that was the case because it wasn't like it was a loaded schedule on Sunday. Just fucking figure it out.
Are there games on American Christmas? Sorry.
That was. I like that, Ed. Ed, I like that. That was a good one, Ed.
Thank you.
No, that's the NBA's day. They always give the guys Christmas Day off. But yeah, I don't know. That was disappointing. There was no games last night. It was just like, what are you doing? And then they had a Stanley Cup preview, and that was nowhere to be found too. That was on Sunday. They had Avs against the Panthers, two of the best teams in the league. Great game. They had like a big fight at the end. No one knows about it. So it'd be like, Lakers against Pickett, LeBron against somebody, and it's just like no one even cares or watches. And ESPN Turner, they have all the rights to everything. They can't just flex it into one of their premium spots. They stink.
That's tonight, the Stanley Cup preview.
Who are the Rangers playing, Tom?
The Avs.
Okay. This guy is getting a little cocky over there. A little cocky.
Got Capo Caco.
I think the Rangers are probably the third or fourth best team in the East, just so you know.
I'll take it.
Okay. It's not a cup team.
Are the Blackhawks
Not right
fifth or
now.
sixth, right behind them?
The Blackhawks are probably, I would say, the 24th best team. Something like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
what was that sound?
You got a little.
Yeah. Like they played Toronto on Saturday and they were down. They took some bad penalties, whatever. They got down, gave a couple power play goals. They're down 4-1. Storm back, tie it at 4, and then they have kind of a fluky bounce goal. They lose 5-4. But Toronto's, they're a top 6 team, something like that, 7 team in the league. And I would say the Hawks outplayed them for 90% of that game. Yeah, that was probably their best game of the year. Like they controlled the play, they had the puck more, they had sustained pressure. Dylan Strome had like a very, very good game, and they just, and they just don't have they have to play perfect to beat teams like that, and they came pretty close, And but in the end, like they're always going to lose like those coin flip games where they play perfect because they just don't have enough talent.
They don't have the horses.
They don't have like any good players. Like that's a problem. But Taves got off the schneid. He's had two goals his last 2 games, so it's nice to see him get going. But they're just not a very good team.
That's a goddamn shame.
Yeah.
They used to get me through my winters until playoff season, and then once they won the Stanley Cup in late May, early June, you'd be balls deep in the baseball season. Now they can't even do that. What the fuck?
Well,
It's sad. It's going to be a while before they're good again, but
COVID Bulls, point on this real quick. I love that the NBA is giving them a break because this is one of those sneaky fucking things where you run 8 guys out there 2 games in a row and then you have people coming back. They said Kobe White would have played on Tuesday without having practice since he went out on COVID. Like without being at the facility or doing shit. It'd be like come right out of quarantine onto the ball. They'd get absolutely fucking smoked. There'd be nothing worse than losing 6 in a row right now. So.
Yeah, that would have been a tough spot to put him in, too.
Yeah, and then we'd be feasting his fucking... If he played like shit, people would be complaining. This is your opportunity. The Bulls need you. This guy's never good enough. So I love the fact that the Bulls are getting this out of the way. In the NBA, I thought they said like 97% of players were vaccinated.
100% of the NHL is vaccinated too. They're losing games left and right. So
It's fucking so stupid.
Yeah. All right, we'll be back Thursday with hopefully a great interview and some more banner going into Christmas and the holiday season. Until next time, all gas.
no breaks.
DJ, play that shit.